In this video, we're going to be trying to remove a Moen Posi temp cartridge where the stem has broken off inside the cartridge, so no traditional pullers are going to work. Here I'm trying to use the little plastic adapters that come with the new cartridges to rotate them and square them up inside and actually install them. It's an install tool that comes with it. I'm trying to work it back and forth slightly to loosen up the cartridge in the valve body. In the wall, the front of the valve body is tapered, and if you can rotate it slightly back and forth, you can sometimes get the cartridge to start walking itself out, using that taper to your advantage as leverage. Okay, right here what I did was I drilled a pilot hole and ran a screw in there with a big head on it so that I could start to pry on that valve and try to get it to walk out a little bit to where I could get a hold of it. Here I'm using an Allen wrench and a big screwdriver. The Allen wrench is to put on the face of the valve so that I've got more height to pry against so that I can get, more pull on that cartridge. I increased the size of the Allen wrench as I went to gain more leverage as the valve was coming out a little at a time. Here you can kind of see the taper on the top of the valve I referred to earlier. At this point, I'm using anything I can to gain more leverage. I have these channel locks against the valve, so I have something to pry against. When I determined I had enough of the valve sticking out of the wall, I grabbed it with the channel locks and started moving it back and forth and gained some more, and to the point where I wrenched on it pretty hard and snapped the plastic of the valve in half so I could remove the center metal section of the cartridge, because I do have a puller that will go inside after that's been removed and remove the remaining internal parts. Now I just need to get the remaining pieces out. The rest of the plastic outer part of the valve and the two rubber pads that go on either side of the valve, which ultimately is what's held it up to this point. Here I'm using the puller I referred to earlier. It goes inside the plastic part and expands to where I can have control of it. And I'm breaking it free of the rubber pads, and then I push it in to the back of the valve in the wall, the valve body, and then I can remove the two rubber pads and then put the tool back in to remove the rest of the plastic once the pads are out of the way. Now I'm using a green scratchy pad here to just lightly clean any deposits that are in the area where the O-ring sets. And I'm just cleaning it up a little bit before I install the new cartridge. I put waterproof grease on literally everything when I install a new cartridge. It's not a matter of if, it's when it will need to be replaced again. And anything to aid in removing it later is going to be beneficial, whether it be me or the next guy. I'm actually filling in for my friend Mark, who would typically service this house, but he's out of town. So he'll be the next guy that gets to change it, and he'll appreciate the grease that I put on everything for him. Typically, if the hot and cold is plumbed correctly, the H and the C on the new cartridge will go up, and the notch on the brass stem will be facing down for it to be in the off position. Now we just grab the little plastic install tool that comes with the new cartridge and slightly wiggle the cartridge back and forth until it's fully seated, and then reinstall the brass pin that retains the cartridge into the valve body. Then next step will be to verify that it's off with that notch being down, and we're going to turn on the water and go back upstairs and check everything out. Don't forget to snug your packing nut. Do not wrench on it, just snug it up. You really shouldn't use a drill or a screw gun at all to reinstall the screws on the faceplate. I do this very carefully. I've done it a bunch of times, but it is not recommended. I literally put grease on everything. A little bit of water will cause everything to seize up, and you end up breaking stuff or having to cut stuff off to change it later, especially if it's been allowed to leak for an extended period of time. You cannot use too much grease. When a cartridge must be removed the way this one came out, you should definitely verify that you have all the pieces, that none are missing. Last thing you want to do is get 5 minutes down the road and find out that something's not working because you left one little piece stuck in there. This is a picture of the puller that I used to work on the internal parts. This is a great puller. It works great when the cartridge isn't broken, but it also has some parts in it that allows you to extract some broken pieces. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.